much for giving your time to me today, and obviously saying yes to having a conversation with Claire from Essex. I wanted to just get to know you both a little bit more. Obviously, I've read an awful lot about you. I've spent time in your company with you guys on stage. I was very much logged into the couples retreat recently as well, and really enjoyed what you were putting out. But the first question I wanted to ask you, before we sort of share a little bit more about what you both have achieved, I guess, over the years, is how on earth does a power couple like this come together? Because you're both individually quite phenomenal human beings, and I'm guessing that you didn't put an ad in the paper one day to just say, you know, only phenomenal humans need apply. So how on earth did you two come together?
Wendy took a chance on a guy who made no money in publishing. That's the way it should read. We met at a friend's birthday party 2 years in a row. So we were introduced by a friend in New York City, and the first time, I think I was just about to break up with someone. So I was with someone, or I'd just broken up, and Wendy had a boyfriend. Exactly a year later, we got a second chance. And I got our mutual friend, got her to give me Wendy's phone number that same night.
Amazing. And had you had conversations previous that you kind of knew that I don't know, not that your goals were aligned or anything, because you probably didn't get into those conversations early on, but that you could kind of tell this is the sort of
we were at a bar. Okay.
She was wearing a snakeskin jacket and gave our friend like a elaborately wrapped can of Pringles. And I thought, who is this girl? I want to get to know her better.
Oh, fantastic. It's just, so together have you grown then? Is that what happened? You know, you just kind of, did you get early on in the conversations, did you talk about what you'd like to achieve, how you hoped your lives would turn out? Or is it just kind of you two coming together just created this spark that is now the life that you've got?
Well, I think we've learned a lot from Keller Williams over the years. So we met in New York and then moved to Austin, Texas. And we lived here about 6 months. And then Jay got a job at KW. And KW just has been really impactful for both of us in terms of really coming together and setting goals together and just really thinking about having a bigger life together.
We didn't get purposeful, I don't think. We set goals for the first time together that we can document in 2002, where we actually wrote them down. So that's how far back it goes. And not long after, like Wendy wasn't working there. She didn't join KW. Was it 2008 or 9, Wendy?
2009 is when
but she was doing a 411, right? Our weekly accountability for years prior to that. She just looked up and said, that makes sense. I'm going to start using it.
Yeah.
So the culture is worn off on us for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you write the one thing? What year was that?
2000. We published it in 2013. So we're coming up on the 10th anniversary next April, but we wrote it over about 4.5 years.
Right. Okay. So look, the one thing, I've got to come to that, because the one thing is my go-to. Like I don't think I could survive my life if I didn't have the one thing, or I hadn't read the one thing. I'm a single mum. I've got 3 daughters. I've got a lot of things that I'm juggling all the time, running a market center, looking after agents. It's absolutely essential. And that book, literally, it's going to sound dramatic, but it's true. It absolutely changed my life because it helped me to get really, really focused with what I needed to do. But there's a question I wanted to ask you on it. Is it really about sort of focusing on one thing, or is it just about being focused on one thing, on the one thing you're working on at the time?
The way I like to look at it, that goals are there for us to be appropriate in the moment. Mm-hmm. And I think we all have many one things, right? Do you have a one thing daughter? No, you've got 3. Yeah. But right, so you might rank them secretly, but you'll certainly never say that, right? Because you have to love them all equally. So I think in reality, like, we have aging parents, we have children, we have coworkers, we have people we're accountable to, our coaches, our bosses, whatever. So we have lots of things that we have to tend to. But I think the one thing helps give us a framework for knowing what our priority is for the day, for the hour, the week, whatever, so that we can give that extra focus and attention. It's a simple framework, but you know this, it's just not easy to live, right?
Yeah.
It's nice to have a support. Like I love working here because people understand priorities and they respect them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's so true. I mean, the for me, and in fact, it was only recently, just this week, I was teaching goal setting to the now. So I revisited some of the one thing and 411. And actually, Wendy, I was watching a YouTube video that you put out of how to plan almost anything on one page. It was brilliant, by the way. It's absolutely brilliant. There were so many tips in there that I took from it. But even after 3.5 years of working the GPS and the one thing and having my 411, what I suddenly realized was that I was using my 411 as a to-do list. And that's where I was going so horribly wrong. And what you do so well is you simplify it. And you just, even after 3.5 years of kind of having a go at it, in that moment, I just went, okay, that's what I'm doing wrong.
I love that.
You don't have to be bad to get better, right? So like you were somewhere in that continuum, but we all have a chance. That's like part of our culture here, right? The path to mastery.
Absolutely. Yeah.